At what age, as a single man, you start getting worried?
42.
Damn.
Listen, 42.
Well, I guess
Stepdad. All right. Stepdad.
Do you date a girl that you just don't really vibe with her friends? You want to pursue a girl that your boy has dated. Do you have to ask him for permission first?
100%.
You think so?
It's not so much asking permission. It's more of
Telling
hey,
him.
I agree with that. Telling.
And more,
Straight up, like-
more of telling. Like, I'm going to do this, and I'm telling you out of respect.
Yeah, Joe, what do you think?
Yeah. Welcome back to On the Rocks podcast. I'm your host, Johnny. I'm so happy to be with my cousin, Eddie, who has been mentioned several times on this podcast. I want to say 3 or 4 episodes at this point. And Corey, my best friend at the time of filming this episode.
Eddie's mad.
Yeah, he should be.
One and
long
two.
awaited. You've been in this room. We've had mock podcasts for a while. He has a face for camera. He is a regular human, average job, works a 9 to 5, makes a lot of money doing it, posts an Instagram picture, and gets thousands of likes. But here's the kicker. I think he had 100+ comments. Big dog, you're the man. What a beast. Girls and guys. And he has a girlfriend. We're going to talk about that too.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that. Glazing him like I've never seen before. And that's when I knew he has to get on this podcast.
It's a really big opportunity for me. I've never been on camera like this. I know I'm in the center frame, so it's actually On the Rocks with Corey Krepp. I want you all to see this. I have the biggest camera right now because I am the tallest man here. 6'3", 230,
No, he's not
maybe.
naming it. He's not naming his numbers right now. Is he?
This is me and Big Man, John Sr. right there. You can see a picture of me and John Cena.
So crazy.
He actually replaced my dad on this podcast.
This is so crazy.
Without further ado, guys, we're going to be talking about dating in general, dating do's, dating don'ts, and I also want to get into what we consider cheating or not. But before we get started, so obviously Eddie has been dating Alyssa for a while now.
Yes.
Funny enough, when we mentioned this the first time, didn't go that well the week after, but that's okay. We're gonna recover.
We're definitely not talking about that.
We're never talking about that. I want to give everybody out there, you guys, a chance to explain where you're at in your life. You know, your age, your situation.
Yep.
How you got here.
Yeah. And
then we're gonna move into again what we think are do's for dating. I'm gonna ask you guys some questions. What we think are don'ts for dating. So go ahead.
Of course.
Explain who Alyssa is and where you guys are at.
All right, so John, me and you, roommates, best friends
Cousins,
before
roommates.
before
Big Dog.
Corey, before Corey,
Yeah.
1A.
Right,
That's
right.
how
I'll
that's
take that.
gonna-
I can share.
Yeah, take 1A. But yeah, we live in the same building. Me and you, roommates. We had a Halloween party first. That was like our first weekend here. Big party, a lot of people. Boom, party. People talking about it. You show up? Yeah, you were there.
Oh yeah, I was promoting that.
He helped
shit.
plan. He did help
Don't play with me.
Yeah.
I was at Party City.
Corey's handing out flyers.
flyers.
Actually, we were hanging up all the shit, the lights, everything, hanging it up. Corey's handing out flyers in the lobby, everything.
Yeah.
People showing up. Alyssa comes. You know, then we kind of we don't talk at all that night, and then you guys have that whole thing where she left her phone here. She comes back, you call her like, hey, we got your phone, and she's like, I can't come get it, I'm so hungover. And then you guys went out to breakfast with her, and then she came back here. You remember this?
Yeah,
Vividly.
I'm like smiling
it was
because I almost
yesterday.
forgot. You
Yeah,
guys
this
have
is-
a beautiful love story.
Yeah, so this is how it all started, because then when you guys came back here from breakfast, that's when it was already probably 3:00 in the afternoon by the time that happened. And then she comes over here, she's like, oh, I'll help you guys clean up. And I come like out of my bedroom, like hood on, hungover,
Disheveled
disheveled,
is the word.
dying of a hangover. And she's like, who is that? And I was like, don't even talk to me right now, I'm so hungover. But then kind of from then I seen her, I'm like, oh, okay, like I like her, I like the way she looks, yada yada yada. She's fun. She's like vacuuming the whole place. Her dog's running around, Henry's running around, vacuuming. And then kind of from then we all started just hanging out after that. And I don't know, we hung out the one time downstairs. She was getting ready for a flight, and like remember she was just like talking to us about going on a plane and all that stuff, and I was just like, I like being around this girl. She's fun, she brings a lot of energy, like she's got a great personality, and I want to get to know her more. And then from then it just kind of kept progressing, and finally I was like, I need to ask this girl out.
Yeah.
And I asked her out like 10 times.
Persistence.
And yeah, wouldn't let me go on a date with her.
No. And here's the first 2 questions that I have for dating do's and don'ts. And I'll let you get to yours first. Or let me get first. Yeah, you're good.
It's my show today, though. So.
Yeah, no, but you're right. You're just sitting in the middle because you're big.
seat.
First dating do or don't question. Do you date in the same complex?
I mean, I did. So yes. I think if it's something you're serious about, then yes. If it's something like you're just kind of going to be like halfway in, it could get messy, but I was serious about it from the beginning. So I'm in on it because it is very convenient that like, you know, we don't live together right now. We live in the same building, but we can, you know, we're constantly together and we're constantly doing stuff. Now we have the same friend group and stuff. So it kind of makes it work.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, please.
Because that's a big deal.
Yep.
And I think me and Eddie are a little different in this aspect.
Yep.
And I love my girlfriend to death, but also I love space to death. John talking about being best friends. I'll tell John straight up, you can't hang out with me today.
Yep. No, said, no, yesterday. Yesterday. I said, so what are we doing about food? He said, no, I'm going to go eat, you're going to go eat, and then I'll see you tomorrow.
So we just hung out for 4 hours. We're good. Honestly, 5. So it's the dating do's and don'ts, and this is why I love different opinions, because Eddie goes, yes, the first thing, my mind is screaming, no, because you absolutely not.
Oh my God.
But everyone is different.
Right.
And I think you need, or everyone's different, everyone's built different. Eddie mentioned constantly together, same friend group, all these things that are massive pros. And I think that causes a little fear and angst in me because as awesome as that is, I just love having independent space, being an individual. So meeting that happy middle or happy medium when you have a girlfriend, that's one of the toughest things for me.
Let me ask you both follow-up question to that. So hypothetically, again, you went through a more traditional dating cycle where you met the girl from somebody else. She doesn't live in this area or doesn't live in this complex. So you got to know her from afar. And then you guys started moving closer at your pace. Now, do you think, what are the cons to living in a building like this? Did it hyper speed a relationship?
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's like a lot of, so when you're constantly with somebody, I guess it does like it does speed things up a little bit because there's things where it may be that we weren't, if we were going to go as separate entities, like she was going to go because the girls are going and I was going to go because the guys are going. Now it's like, oh, we're going together. When maybe we had just started dating, it's like, okay, like we don't really need to be going together, but now we're going to be there at the same time. So I guess we are going together. So like put a little bit of that type of strain, I guess, on it. But ultimately, because the friend group got so close and then we became so close, like it kind of just ended up working out where it was okay if we were like, all right, we're going together, like, yeah, and we're going to be around the people that we're going to be with anyway. So
do you think your relationship would have lasted if it started in the building?
Oh God, no.
Wow.
Yeah, but don't say wow like that. She's gonna watch this, right? All right.
Oh, she's watching. I said Nicole is going to timestamp this.
No, live stream.
Corey, what did you mean by minute 30 and 27 seconds? When you said something like that, you made that face.
So
what that mean?
Here's the thing. I'm just being honest.
Out.
Nicole and I work out so well together because there's a lot of communication. And I'll say straight up, I have a hard time talking through my feelings. But when it comes through talking about boundaries and what we need and what she needs and how can I lean in and what does she need me to do, what do I need her to do, is very easy conversation. So I don't think it would have worked in the building because you go down and get packaged in the building. You see your girlfriend. You are waiting for the shuttle. You see your girlfriend. You're just trying to get to the fucking garage. You see your girlfriend. I can't get surprised by my girlfriend. Right. It's just not a life I can live. You know what I mean? Like there has to be an important level of boundaries and separations. And honestly, Eddie, I'd love to hear your opinion on this because I love when me and Nicole don't see each other for a week, not because I'm like, oh, thank God I'm not with Nicole, but I'm so much more excited to see her at the weekend.
Please, Ed.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like we're constantly like on the phone, like all the time, like we're texting, whatever, when we're at work. When I get a free minute, like, or she gets a free minute, like we'll call her just like to see how the day's going. Like that's fine. Maybe that's not your thing. Like that's crazy. So listen, but at the same time too, it's like when I do get home, like that's who I want to hang out with. So I get home from work, I go work, gym, come home, shower, and we're making dinner together or whatever. We're going down, we're going to grill, we're going to go take the dog for a walk, we're going to go, do all that stuff. And we just do that every day. And it's just kind of like, routine type of stuff.
Are you ever looking for a minute to decompress?
Brother, I run it. I idle at fucking compressed.
Yeah, I had the same question, and it's interesting because knowing you as a roommate, you would think that. Like, I would assume that he needed some time for himself. They sleep every night together, and that's been like that since like month 3, I would say. You guys really started early, being together at all times.
Yeah, even though I have an apartment here, like half the time it's just my bed is covered in my own clothes. Like it's like I don't sleep here, but at the same time, like I take the time that I have at the gym. So right after work, like leave work, stop thinking about work. Go to the gym. That's my time to just like decompress, take the train home, fully decompress, get here. And then now I'm like, okay, like I'm in the mode of I want to be with her and I want to hang out and we're going to have fun and hang out, watch some TV, cook, and call it a night. That's it.
Are you able to compartmentalize your life like that with your thoughts? Because I can't.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because if you start bringing home work shit and if you start bringing, other things that happen into your everyday life starts getting involved and you're bringing home that stress. And it's not even that stress that you have to talk about. It's a stress that you could feel when you walk through the door by your body language. It's like you can see that somebody's defeated or upset about something from that day. You have to just be like, all right, they need 5 minutes or whatever. Like you have to like, and it's like one of those things where we even have said to each other, like, hey, if you need 5 minutes, just let me know you need 5 minutes or you need 10 minutes. But for the most part, I do have enough time from when I leave work and I don't bring any work shit home that I can get rid of any of that stress that I had from the day before I even get here.
Another follow-up, do or don't for a relationship. How much, I guess this is going to be worded a little bit differently. How much do you share with your girlfriend about what's going on mentally or internally, about your stress and life in general?
Definitely a fair amount. I mean, because whatever's going on, like if I'm answering the phone about a family thing or, my parents are calling, like she's seeing me take those phone calls, like I'm taking the phone calls or whatever. And like, if there's other things that are happening in my life, she's probably sitting right next to me.
Right.
So as soon as it happens, we're talking about whatever's going on.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things, like, so I'm not like, if I don't see her for a week, I'm not like unloading like my whole week's worth of stresses onto her in 1 hour's time.
Okay.
It's like when something comes up, we're talking about it. So it kind of makes it easier to.
Okay, well, let's make this about me for a little bit. So I'm the single one here, and this is why they're on. So they're both in relationships, thriving relationships. I love both their girlfriends.
That's good.
And the problem that I've ran into, and girls have expressed this to me, is that I don't share enough, and I feel like I keep things to myself. And less about girls or guys, it's indifferent. More about for me, and I'm very curious how you guys feel about this. If I don't think that your opinion can add anything to what I'm going through, like you just don't, I don't care less to even mention it.
That's a problem.
Yeah. So it's so funny. I love hearing Eddie's answers because I got different answers.
Yo, I know. No. We're not glazing on you, Buster. You go right back, buddy.
Yo, I got different. I go. I'm reflecting internally. I'm like, is it me? Like,
No, but you're just different. That's why I love the contrast.
Yeah, we are
between
definitely
you two.
wired.
You guys are like almost like black and white different pictures here. So different and so good at the same time. So before answering or respond to what I said, let's go back and ask you the same question.
Well, I think your answer actually ties into how I feel. However, your answer is like a very intense single point of view. Like they have no opinion that could help me. I don't know about that. I mean, John, people can help you. I promise.
You don't have to fight this fight yourself.
It is Mental Health Awareness Month for men, so this is a good time to bring it up.
Cheers. And this is
cheers for that. Cheers.
Cheers
We didn't even cheers today, boys.
Cheers
to men's mental health awareness. If you have a problem, talk about it. Find some friends. Find a therapist. But you're not alone.
This is perfect. We're segueing right into therapists.
Perfect.
So
I was gonna say that's perfect layup for
exactly. And I love talking about therapy. Go get a therapist. Listen, you got shit to unpack. Go unpack it as someone because your boys don't want to hear it.
On that note, I think it's super important if you're gonna dump trauma on somebody, make sure it's somebody that can handle it, and vice versa. You got to know, like, if it's somebody that's not worthy of your trauma, but it's not fair to dump trauma on everybody. A stranger at the bar, a girl you just met, that's not the person to dump trauma on.
The bartender?
Not fair to do to somebody, because that's closing down. Because he's closing out, wiping up like, dude, I got shit to do tomorrow. I want to think about your trauma and your childhood. It's not about me right now. So you got to be careful. If you feel the need to express what you're going through internally, find a really good friend, find a family member, or find a therapist.
And get all three. Get all three.
Or get all three. Exactly.
All three help. And this is the thing. This is what I love about therapy so much. And this is why I love my therapist, because it's an unbiased opinion. You know, this is someone who's looking.
Go ahead. No.
It's an unbiased opinion, unless your therapist is like mine. My therapist loves me.
Yeah.
But,
No. Keep going.
But the big deal is talking about unloading stuff. And I think everyone comes from different backgrounds. Everyone comes from different types of communication with their parents, right? And my parents, right off the boat, very Haitian. They're not talking about problems. No. They're gritty, bro. I'm talking go clean floors, go to school, get a nursing degree, set up their kids for a better life. So with that type of heads down attitude, it makes it hard for you to think, oh, it's okay to unload stuff to friends, family, significant others. I think I'll talk to Nicole about stuff. I'm not sure if she's ever seen me at my lowest. I'm not even sure if I've been vulnerable enough to open up at my lowest. But that's why I love a therapist, because you can open up at your lowest. And I mean, not only are you paying them, right, but someone who doesn't know much about you. Right. So that's a middle ground like no other. And they can help you see the good in you. They can also help you see the bad in you. And I'm big on therapy.
No, yeah. Corey is one of those guys where you're taking initiative with your problems. Like, you don't deal with any sort of crazy trauma that's now impacted you for life, and you're getting ahead of it by going to weekly therapy that other people probably be like, he doesn't need.
I go like once a month, but
he goes to weekly therapy and he talks to the girl for hours on end about literally nonsense, and all she does is feed his ego. It's the most it's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Let's talk about my therapist. All right, real quick, because
his therapist loves him, and it's almost just like a nice Italian aunt.
Well, she really feels like a nice Italian aunt, and the reason why, she's cognitive behavioral therapy or something like that.
CBT.
CBT. So she's big on, okay, if something's bothering you, do it. And she loves my attitude. She's like, well, I give you advice and you meditate and then you go do it. Or you should exercise more and you exercise more, or you journal. So like, I'm a good patient for her because she gives me feedback and I take the feedback well. So yeah, me and her, we hit it off. And honestly, like, she might have a crush on me. We'll cut that.
No, we're not cutting that at all. We're gonna raise the volume when you say that. Yeah, we're putting that in the intro.
No, she really is like an Italian aunt to me. Like I value my therapist so much, and she's seen me at my lowest. I remember moving to this area before I moved into this building. We jumped on an apartment that was a piece of shit in the Heights. It had mice. At this point, I just got out of a relationship a little longer before that. I'm trying to figure myself out. I moved to this new area. It's a mess. I mean, I'm literally thinking to myself, I'm like, how did I make a decision like this? Like, this isn't like me. I rushed everything. This place is terrible. My therapist helped me ground myself and then take the next steps to actually get out of that lease and then go to an apartment that I actually enjoyed.
Yeah, supposed to be my roommate, but he wasn't. Pick somebody else. Yeah, we won't talk about that. I think this is another dating do or don't, and this is gonna be a little subjective. It's not a yes or no answer. Eddie talked about being very vulnerable in front of his girlfriend. You talked about
not very vulnerable. It's just
vulnerable, whatever the extent is.
I think he said he dumps everything on her.
He said that. Yeah, we'll breeze on that. Yeah, crying and everything.
Every day too.
Let's ask that question. How vulnerable will you ever show your girlfriend your true vulnerable self?
I know I need to make sure that we're getting our maximum potential out of our relationship. I need to. Why are you making?
I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
This is why, again, single guy.
I'm sorry.
He's making faces like, oh, so you're gonna cry in front of your girl.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Yo, you need to. If that's long term, that's your person, that's your best friend. I know that a goal of mine is to continue open. Yeah, I had a few drinks. continue open up and be as vulnerable as possible. But it takes time. I think some people can do it within 3 months. Some people can do it within 6 months. I'm at a year now. I'm working on it. I'm trying to be self-aware. I think it's necessary. That's my take.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, there's ultimately going to be a point in your life where it's going to happen, and it's unavoidable. Something's going to happen in your life where you can't keep it together in front of anybody. Do I think it's? Yeah, I guess it's ultimately just, I don't know. It's just how it progresses. Is like if you're with somebody that that long, and there's things that are happening, like it's going to happen. You're going to break down, and you're going to show who you truly are, and it's going to be a building block of something better. It's going to come back stronger ultimately because now you've laid it all out. Your cards are on the table. She knows who you are. You know who she is, and that's that. So it's going to happen. Have I done it yet? No. She's like, why don't you cry about anything? I'm like, well, what am I crying about? There's nothing. There's nothing to cry about yet. Like nothing has happened yet where I need to be crying.
It's so crazy, Eddie. Outside looking in, I would have thought you were there already.
For sure. I would have guessed that.
Yeah,
you
I
asked
swear
me,
that
I was
was
the first
You
sure
guys crying
several
on a regular
times.
basis?
I don't think you're crying. You just told us that you vent her every day. So
No, I didn't say it's not. Listen, it's not.
Right. That's a good point from the back, from the bleachers over there.
If it's there's a difference between not venting is venting can take 30 seconds. You just be like you have to motherfuck somebody into the ground for a second. Like that's a quick you're just venting.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah.
And then it's it. And then you got it out of your system and you're good.
You never feel that bottled up because you're just letting it all loose.
Yeah. Like so in that sense, I guess I wouldn't call that vulnerable. I'm just willing to say what I gotta say when I have to say it.
what do we think? Why do guys hate the word vulnerable so much? Also, since I'm the host today, I'm in the center. I do want to ask John because I was talking about being completely vulnerable. That's the goal, to be completely vulnerable with my significant
Girls
other.
want to see you vulnerable.
And John was making a face like, why do guys hate the word vulnerable?
It's weak.
That's what's associated with.
Yeah,
They
no,
go
that's
hand
not
in
how
hand.
I mean, that's not really
Yeah.
how I feel. I will say, as transparent as I could be, I do believe there is a version of yourself that no one, man or woman, should ever see. If it happens, like you said, something traumatic and somebody's around and I break down and you see the worst version of myself,
Right.
Then
Then
it is
it
what it is.
happens.
I don't ever want to show somebody that pure version of me.
Yeah.
That's for me and me only.
There's
John, what about you're married to someone 20 years? You guys have gone through everything, multiple kids. You don't want that person to see you at. You wouldn't be comfortable with that person seeing you at your lowest.
There's a good chance that you're stepping out of the room before that ever happens.
Very Italian of you guys.
Yes.
Well, I watched my dad do it. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm getting
watch-
from this right now.
100%.
I watch my dad, and he's built himself to become this man that seems invincible, which I think is a good thing to an extent. And then it does harm him once in a while when he does break down. And you're like, well, I didn't even know you felt like that. You know what I mean? Because you never allowed us in to see that version of yourself of like a vulnerable individual. But I think the extreme version, and this is going to be a little bit trivial, and this is why I'm single. Women are going to look at you different. I don't care what you say. Your girlfriend, your wife is going to see you in a different light now that she knows there's a little bit of a chink in the armor.
Yeah, they're gonna want you more.
I don't know about that.
You be crying?
No. Listen, showcasing, and also I think there's a timing thing, right? Like hypothetically, if everybody's got deep, dark insecurities, right? Or things they don't like about themselves or the world or whatever it may be. And if I gave you that month 6, and now you know that about me forever, every time something gets brought up that could mention something like that, you're thinking about it.
I said 20 years. John said month 6.
That's where we're at.
Well, I guess there's a point where like it really doesn't fucking matter. Like if I'm 20 years in, I still don't want my wife to think that there's something I can't handle. Maybe that's me at 28 being single.
I think that's the way we're raised. I think too. Like I don't think, obviously my dad, your uncle, like I don't,
He's Michael.
I don't think I've ever like that. He would walk away first if he really needs to deal with some shit before he's going to let our family see it.
When do you guys break the generational cycle?
Never.
Are we unpacking right now?
I don't think it's unpacking. I also don't think it's like a generational.
It's just the way, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, the way that your parents did, and now the way that you did it, that sounds like
generational.
Here's the thing. I will say there was a moment about a year ago. My dad didn't cry. I don't think I've ever seen my dad cry in front of me. Maybe once from like some bullshit. I don't know. And he finally said to me in the car, he's like, I don't know what to do and I need help. And in that moment, I was like, I will do literally anything to help you if I can. And the dynamic between my dad and I has always been, he knows everything, and I got to prove him wrong for my whole life, 27 years. And it finally took me that moment to be like, this is a human that's just trying his best to be the best dad he can. And he doesn't know everything. He may seem like he knows, and he's trying to act like he knows, but he's finally admitted to you as another man, I need your help. And that's a really good feeling that I'm mentioning to you. Like, if he did that earlier, maybe our relationship would have been a little bit different and not so polarizing as like, I'm your dad, I'm your son.
Yo, that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, listen, on camera, like everybody's seen my dad and our relationship, and they've watched it grow. But I've seen it grow because of being on camera, we've been forced into doing a lot of these things together, and I've had to humanize him for myself. I could not see him always as this father figure. We wouldn't be able to work. So this has forced me to become more of an even playing field type of guy with him. But moments like that, if I didn't have those, it would never happen.
Relationship do's and don'ts, huh?
Yo,
Relationship do's and don'ts. Being vulnerable is a big one. And again, I don't know how vulnerable.
Life relationships,
not
just
to apologize.
Did I do something?
I think I took us down the wrong road.
No. Definitely not the wrong road. I think it's important for everybody to realize being vulnerable is crucial to getting closer to somebody, I would assume. And maybe that's why me being single, I don't do it a lot because I don't want to let.
Oh, we got him.
I don't want to let.
We got him.
I don't want to let anybody in.
Got it.
We got it. Holy shit.
I don't want to let anybody in. And as soon as I feel it out of a girl, like her eyes get real wide, like,
wow,
oh, he's getting wrong. He's sharing something he doesn't share with anybody else.
John's getting married
like,
next week.
Fuck, she got me. Yeah.
So what scares you about them getting big eyes?
I don't like to upset anybody. And I feel like if I'm very transparently, look, I want one thing, I'm not looking for anything serious, there's nobody that can get hurt. But that's not true either. So when I take them down this path of like they're getting to really know the deep version of myself, and if I'm still not aligned with, hey, I want to take this serious, they have the potential to become more heartbroken, I guess. You know, and vice versa.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, you're talking about them. What about how you feel? Where your guard comes up?
Yeah, I guess my guard comes up again where like I tell myself one thing. I always tell myself like I'm single right now. I want to stay single and I don't want to break that for anybody. That's why the whole like taxi cab theory that girls talk about, I don't even fucking believe that thing. So the taxi cab theory in short, very high level, is that men wait for the right time, women wait for the right guy. So, or, you know, if you're, you know, gay or vice versa, you're waiting for the right moment. So, yeah. So, I mean, I want to clear, you know, if you're a girl, look for a girl, guy, look for a guy.
It's June.
Yeah, you know, I know what it is. I know what it is. So as a guy, the example is like it's like a taxi. You know, when you're ready for that taxi and it's right in front of you, you're gonna take the next taxi that comes up, which is the comparison like a girl. So if I'm not ready mentally, I can let 1,000 good girls walk by, but as soon as I'm ready, the next girl that walks my way, she's the one, and that scares a lot of people. But I don't think that's necessarily true. Like I'm not opening up, I'm not changing my ways, I'm not picking up a taxi unless I'm really ready to move.
It's raining out. You're taking that taxi.
That's a tough one. If I'm 30, I guess, right. I'm 20. I have no rush. If I'm 35, 36, and I'm feeling the pressure, it's raining.
I still don't think it's raining at 35, 36.
When do you think it's raining?
That's your peak as a man.
Deadass? Can we confirm that?
All right, at what age, as a single man, you start getting worried?
42.
Damn.
Listen, 42?
Well, I guess
stepdad. All right. Stepdad.
Yo. And that's a life you didn't sign up for, man.
Yeah. At the same time, as a man, it ultimately probably doesn't really make a huge difference for you. As a woman, yes, there is a clock that is ticking and it is happening, and you want kids and you want this life. But as a man, if you're not, you know, if it's not raining on your side of the sidewalk, bro, then let the taxis keep buzzing by.
I don't know. That's a hard one.
I do want to talk about something important. We're talking about flagging down the taxi, raining, if there's a rush or not. What about the aspect of experience? We say the word vulnerable. John gagged. You're not getting that experience if you're not committing yourself to someone, leaning in, making an effort. Like you're flagging down the taxi at 42.
I'm gonna say
the first taxi you've ever been in.
Because damn. Ooh, it's nice in here. I don't have to actually use my legs to get uptown. Damn.
That's a good point.
Because the thing is, I'm gonna assume that the thing is for him. As soon as he's vulnerable, and if it doesn't ultimately work out, then you're like, well, shit. Why did I just do that? Become vulnerable to somebody if it's not gonna work out. So like that's the biggest fear, is that you let down the guard. Somebody comes in and it doesn't work out, and you're like, well, I don't want to have to do that again.
Yeah.
right?
PTSD. Yeah, it could scar you.
Yeah,
That's a big deal.
Like, and now the guard has just gotten bigger for the next one. So maybe I think, listen, you just gotta go with the flow. I think you're putting too much. I mean, you don't really care, I guess, at the end of the day.
You don't give a fuck.
Nobody thinks I care about it.
No, yeah, the sun is shining on John's side of the street, bro.
Listen, this guy,
it's 70,
he's just okay.
It's 75. It's 75 and sunny, and there ain't a cloud in the fucking sky.
He's never seen rain in his life. So he's good.
Life is good on this side of the sidewalk. But honestly, it's interesting you mentioned that because at 28, at 22, I didn't care, and my life is very different now. Like you said, it's been shining for a very long time. But I haven't had a
flex.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, like since 4 years ago, whatever. What scares me is that I haven't been in a taxi. I haven't been in a relationship. I haven't approached a woman from like, hey, first I'm really interested in this girl. I'm gonna take her on a first date. I fear that I'm at a big old age where girls are expecting things that maybe I just don't even know because I didn't go through it when I was 24, 25. I wasn't looking.
No life experience.
You think because your life path is very different from the norm, that is what's keeping you more on a, like, all right, maybe I'm not there yet because I've got way more to do still,
Yeah, I think it's so different that, again, like prior to this, I was doing my own thing as well. But yeah, this is now, my focus is different than I think other people's. And I'm always, again, I say it all the time, like, why would I eat if I'm full? Like, I'm not hungry now. I'm not looking for anything different in my life. Petey's rolling his eyes over there, but I feel really good. You know what I mean? Like I got a really good group of friends. Yeah, you almost heard the sigh.
This kid eats pretty good. He's not hungry.
Oh man!
How did this turn from literally relationship do's and don'ts to again talking about John?
Let's just pump my tires. No, but it's a fear, and I'm sure I'm not the only 28-year-old man that feels the same way. Whether you're finding success in life as far as your career, or you got good friends around you, or girls fulfill you in some capacity or another, there is that part in my brain where I'm like, damn, I want to settle down one day. I want to find a wife. I want to have a family, and I don't want to run the risk of having something happen where it's like a diminishing return and I never feel the need or desire to do that. Because that's a sad life. I don't want to be 42 still doing the same shit I'm doing at 28.
Well, that'd be concerning. We wouldn't let you do that.
All right, well, what age will you start being like, hey, John, you should probably find a girl?
Next month.
Yeah, I'm gonna start looking. Well, I think like
once summer's done.
Yeah. If this winter I'm not taking a girl serious, we should.
And this is the thing. We feel the most when it hits winter, me and Eddie, because it's like dark at 4 p.m. John's like, "What are you guys doing? We're hanging with our fucking girlfriends. All right, we have priorities.
I'm in bed.
All right, you chose to live your life like this.
yeah. You're happy-go-lucky in the summertime, buddy.
The sun was shining then.
You're all smiles when the sun's out, buddy.
Seasonal depression is different when you're by yourself.
You get cold. Man. Yeah. Okay. Maybe that's a do's and don't as well. Dating. I guess like starting out to date in the summertime. If you're a new, fresh relationship, are you starting a relationship in the summer?
Yeah, I started my relationship in the summer.
Well, go. We didn't really give you your chance to explain who you're dating, Nicole. Go, shut her up.
Yeah. All right, I appreciate that. So,
you want me to share the story? No, you got it.
So, I want to give a shout out to Cassie Pinero because she is Nicole's roommate who I went to college with, and she reached out to me. She's like, I feel like you would really get along with my new random roommate. And I was like,
random roommate? I don't even think I've heard this story, so I'm kind of interested.
So she reaches out, and like at this point, I've deleted the apps like peak summer. I'm like, I don't care. And I'm like, yeah. Like straight up, I was like, I don't really want to meet her. But they called after they had like a glass of wine like 3 nights later. And I'm talking to them on the phone. And in between all this, Nicole follows me on Instagram. I see how cute Nicole is. So after I get off the phone with them, I call Cass back. I'm like, yo, your roommate, like, she free on Thursday? Like, does she want to go to dinner?
Did you really?
Yeah, I'm smooth as shit. So after we had dinner on Thursday, we went to Cordo in Jersey City.
Beautiful. Best spot ever.
Me
and Alyssa go there all the time.
I guess Seats had the pasta.
Bro, I'm telling you.
So
if you're not going to Cordo Pasta Bar, This is why.
Crazy.
This is why you're single.
Yo, yeah,
Never been.
we'll put you onto some game. So,
Please continue.
so we have a great date. And I tell John, I'm like, this girl's really cool, really cute, like awesome. A little shorter than I thought, but besides that, she's so short. I tell her all the time, like, bro, because I just saw her Instagram, so I couldn't tell how short she is. I walked into Cordo, I'm like this.
Now keep in mind, Corey is 6'3", 6'2" and 3/4, and she's
6'3".
yeah, no, Corey's all of 6'3", and she's what 5'2".
5'2".
Yeah.
She's 5'2" on her best day.
Yeah.
So
Good pair of boots.
Yeah.
good pair of boots. So we hit it off. We planned the next date before our Ubers even get us back. I'm like, hey, you want to go Antique next Thursday? We rip a date at Antique the next Thursday. Then we get another date, the third date, right after Antique. I'm telling you, momentum, flow, like everything. She's funny. She's cool. I'll never forget. At Antique, we're talking about cooking. I know Petey's here, so listen. I tell her I can cook. Nothing like Petey, but I tell her I can cook. And she goes, oh, bullshit, yada, yada. Like, she thinks I'm just another dude talking about cooking. Third or fourth date, she comes over. I make fresh salsa in the food processor. I make a fresh vinaigrette in the immersion blender, and then I grill skirt steak tacos, and chicken. Make fresh guac.
He's saying immersion blender like that's gonna fucking. That's what got her. The immersion blender.
The immersion blender. That's what got her.
I remember this vividly. Steak tacos. Continue.
Yeah.
Please.
So we have a great night, and I'm like, I'm in the building. It's summer. We're hitting the pool. I'm like, all right, things are going great. Do I want a girlfriend right now? I mean, originally I deleted the dating apps, and I wasn't trying to connect with anyone, but it was just so easy. That was the word I continuously used. It was so easy connecting with her, so easy spending time with her. So I said, fuck it, I'm all in, even though like it could have been my peak summer, but
Yeah, you're telling me.
yo, John shaking his head crazy because things could have been way different, but I wouldn't want it any other way because she's made me a better person every day. We've hung out. I've leaned into a lot of things. I've leaned out of a few things. Sometimes she drives me nuts. I mean, I'm on camera, but sometimes I drive her nuts, I'm sure.
Right.
But it was just, I think about someone that I was very close with from work, an older guy. He was married once, didn't work out, married again to his second wife. And it's like the best thing ever, the way he talks about his second wife. And he was telling me, he said, I know it's summer. I know you have all these different distractions, but bottle up this feeling. If it's easy with her, if you have fun with her and you enjoy every moment, bottle up these feelings because it's going to make all the other bullshit and the distractions seem like nothing.
Damn.
So my therapist, my boy, Gary from work,
Gary,
and
shout out Gary.
just how awesome Nicole was made it kind of easy for me to block out the noise in the summer.
The noise of me.
The noise of John.
John's
said, bro, you can't go a few more months single? Help me. So you see me out here? Said, you know what we used to do at these bars?
I did not. I didn't say that. All I said was I lost both my guys in a very short period of time, and I was stranded. And I was. What's that meme of Travolta? Where is it? This?
When he walked, that's from Pulp Fiction.
That was me.
When
that was me walking
he-
into this room, and now everybody's gone with their girlfriends. Yeah. No, but that was exactly how I remember it happening, and it was very easy. Like it was very transitional. I didn't like it wasn't 0 to 100, and then as soon as you knew, you knew. You know what I mean?
100%.
You slowly leaned in, like you said.
Well, I really, and she'll tell you it took like a month and a half. To me, I really feel like it took 2 months, 3 months, and it was transitional and went through the whole summer because, Eddie, the point that you made, you have the same friend groups, you have the same plans, all that stuff. That's big for me. I'm a avoidant attachment style. So I like to think.
Yeah, you know way too much about your attachment style.
I'm not going into attachment
This
styles.
is the guy slinging attached to everybody at the pool.
Yo, say,
read
read this.
Yeah,
I'll sign this copy.
That's
You want me to sign this one?
That's a whole nother.
Like he was the author. Yeah, that was his. Yeah, whatever. We won't talk about that.
I can't even.
Yeah,
get involved.
whatever.
Listen,
Now I'm taking.
few motherfuckers can read this book. Okay, read attached.
I'm taking the thing on my phone to see what attachment styles I have, and I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, I was like, what am I avoiding? All right, keep this moving.
So
see this shit.
the thing about keeping everything at arm's length, though, being an avoidant, Eddie made the point about having the same plans, doing the same things. That takes me a while to get around, having the same friend group, because I do appreciate decompression and space so much. So it took time for me to be okay with that, with me and Nicole. And that's why the summer slow transition really helped.
Another dating do or don't. Do you date a girl that you have no clue about her past with?
It's a great one. If you can't date someone that you know they're past about.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. You feel the same way?
Yeah. Why? What do you mean is
My reservation would be like, and this is going to be a terrible example. I won't mention any names. I would love to mention some names, but I won't. Girls in high school that were known for specific things and reps that they had that weren't good. And we know about it because our boys and, whatever. You see these girls and you're like, man, that girl's never going to get married based on what she's used to do. And then you see a sucker of a man now, 25 years old, dating her, and you're like, wow, if only he knew the shit that girl used to do. And you feel bad for the guy, and you don't want it to happen where it's like he's 35 and it comes up. But part of me is also like, is that an immature thing that you should leave in the past? Like, is ignorance bliss at that point?
If he's 35 and shit's coming up from high school, it must have been downright atrocious.
Right. That's what I was saying.
we got bigger problems.
Yeah, it's got bigger problems.
You ever see that skit where it's like there's the street interviews, like what's the worst thing you've ever done? And the guy's like, I don't know, I skipped class one time. What about you, honey? She's like, I got railed DP 3-4 at a time. Shit was crazy. The guy's like,
they got a Dave Chappelle skit for that. And he's like, what about you? She said, well, one time I let these two guys take me down, and he's like,
yeah, exactly. So it's stuff like that like I wouldn't be necessarily concerned so much about the past, like that's a little immature. I'd be more so concerned about not knowing who she was or reasons why she was doing those things if they're ever going to come back up.
well, you're.
I don't even know how this has no relevance to my life or your life.
Well, it's just your opinion.
Yeah, I know, but so listen, I think those whatever she was doing in her past, like those flaws or those traits are gonna ultimately, come out as you're getting to know her. So you're gonna know right off the bat who she is.
That's what I think.
Yeah, you're gonna know. Listen, if this girl was this way at 18, 21, 25, she's gonna be the same way at 30, 35, 40. Like, it's not gonna target doesn't change its stripes type of thing.
You guys, you mind me asking? Because I got the center frame. I'm the host today.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
You mind me asking?
Please.
What if the question that you posed, right? The other layer to that is finding out those things at 35, much later into your relationship. Does it affect the way you look at her? Do you change the way you act? Do you second guess things? Because that's when you said something from high school coming back up at the age of 30, it's got to be atrocious.
Listen, we don't
horrendous, egregious. It's got to be egregious.
You did what?
That's
Why?
Why?
Why him?
I don't like. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even. Let's take high school out of the equation. We're old enough now that I think we could put high school
Right.
behind
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
It's 10 years.
True. Yeah.
So, again, I think those things. If you know what you're looking for in a girl, I think you're gonna know that girl has been the same way her whole life. I think you're gonna know right off the bat and not even have to get involved in that.
Okay, so
that's what I think. I mean,
but people change so much, especially with maturity.
I agree, and I think people do enter different stages in their life. Like, I've definitely talked to women before that are like, and not admitting it to me, but like, hey, I went through a really rough patch in life. I was searching for things that weren't there. I was more promiscuous. Then I was into drinking and drugs or whatever, and I'm just such a changed woman. That doesn't bother me knowing that. You know what I mean?
Right, but that.
I gotta know you're out of that stage. You know
right,
what I mean? That's what. But I have to feel that based on how
feel
you
that
act.
you've changed.
It's not about you just saying it to me. Yeah.
Oh,
Just
I was
like how
doing.
they have to know we've changed, though.
Yeah.
They have to know we've changed.
I was
We've
a whore.
matured.
Well, are you still a whore?
Well, you said that.
Damn.
What? I put it to myself. Not me.
Okay.
No, brother, no.
Brother, no.
No, brother, no.
Wait, because ultimately that would have to be the conversation. This is who I was in the past. This is not who I am anymore.
And this is not who I want to be with you. Right, exactly. I don't want to be known as that girl.
But going back to John's first question and knowing the past, that doesn't have to be the conversation. Is it better if you just don't know at all?
Why are you hiding shit?
No, I think
it's not hiding.
I think if that's the conversation, I think if she's gonna have the conversation with you and she's gonna lay out, hey, this is who I was. I think you need to know straight up before it's like, she's like, I'm a changed person. And then, then you're hanging out with some of her friends. Oh, did you know that she was...
Exactly. Or
Or
they look at you differently, like, oh, you're dating her?
Well, good luck.
How
Good luck. The last
bad-
thing you want to hear is good luck from one of her close friends. I'm like... Well,
They got Drewski memes for that too.
Oh, they do.
She's a good one, bro. Don't worry.
Yeah. I'll get her shit.
But how bad does it have to be for her to lay it out?
brother. I mean, listen, people have pasts. People have trauma that they release doing things that aren't that healthy. Let me ask you a follow-up question to this one, because you're right. Like, it's very subjective, and some things that are in the past, they should stay there, and whatever. Ignorance is bliss. Dating do's or don'ts. Do you date a girl that you just don't really vibe with her friends?
Oh boy.
Holy Friends / family.
Can you pull up a little bit? You're way in that tree right now.
He's about to hide in the tree, actually.
Yo, I think
And keep that close to your mouth too. I want to hear this.
I think 100% you can make it work, because the friends aren't always a representation of the girl that you're with.
100%.
And even same with the family. I mean, people come from all different types of backgrounds.
100%.
I do think it makes your life harder in terms of going to events. You don't want to be at that shit.
Right.
Everything is a drag. And if you think they got bad energy or they don't fuck with you, then you're literally building your own social anxiety to go birthday parties, barbecues. Everything seems like a drag. So I don't think that their friends are a representation of them, but me and John have had this conversation about the 5 closest people you hang out with, you tend to take their traits. Right. So that is such a loaded question.
Right.
And I barely answered it. I think there's...
But at the same time, but when you
didn't.
No.
I didn't answer it.
No, you did because there's a difference between, so a friend group could be a group of 20 people, 30 people. That's a friend group. But they might not be your everyday group.
Yeah, I'm talking about a core.
Yeah, like your core group is your core group, and I think you're ultimately going to surround yourself, like you said, with people that are like-minded, people like you. Like, so that part should be a little bit easier. But like, again, when you start getting into, there's people from college, high school, all this shit. Like, yeah, those are people that you've had relationships with, and they're a huge part of your life. But again, they might not be a representation of you, but they have shared a part of your life that you'll never get back. College, high school, those are big parts of your life, and those are people that are always going to have a part of your life. So now it's just...
Yo, Eddie is spitting right now. I'm sorry. You're making so many good facts. I changed my mind. If their girls be cheating, they be cheating. That's it.
That's it. Thank you, Eddie, for saying that. I mean, and that's what he words exactly what he said. That's what I heard.
Yo, that is what I heard from Eddie. Eddie is right. Eddie,
I appreciate that,
that's
man.
a fact.
Little long-winded, but yeah. Here's the thing too. I
How
think,
did you even get there?
No. I was right there too. So we were right there. What I will say is love is blinding. So when you do look at her friends, let's say she has really good group of girls, or a group of 4 girls, and you hate them all. You start to think like, is she like that? And I'm just blinded by something I love about this girl, or she's so, because like you said, you don't hang out with 4 different people that are so unlike you. But so it's a representation of who you are.
What are the chances of that?
There's not a chance that they're all polarizing, but there are chances that like you look at her family and look at her friends and you're like, man, they all seem to do, or they all seem to think the same way. I can't handle that if that's going to be my wife one day. And I'm going to flip the question, but please respond to what I just said first.
Because I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, I'm not in that situation, so it's hard for me to.
You're the opposite. You love us. Yeah.
Yeah. We have, again, having the same friend group, but even friends outside of our friend group. I love her friends. I could get along with literally anybody. If like you put me in front of the wall, like I will talk and have a conversation, and I'm not worried about that. But I feel like you're gonna no.
Hold on, what?
Is that wall looking at me?
Tell me if Eddie's not friendly like that. Who said Eddie was friendly like that?
We're not gonna let that slide at all.
Tell me if that wall.
Eddie is not that kind of guy.
Eddie be cranky as hell.
Yeah,
Eddie
don't talk to me sometimes, bro.
true.
That was great. All right, listen, we'll give you your flowers when you deserve them, but for that one, no. But please continue.
When I'm in a group setting,
Yes.
and I'm around Alyssa, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be the regular person. But I've never been in a situation where I'm like, oh, these people, like, I don't want to hang out with them. Like, I feel
like her friends and family.
Yeah, and things like that. And I would never, be like, oh, like if these are her friends, like this is her, like that. They don't even add up. Like once you're in the situation, once we leave, like she's still her. Those people are still those people. Like I would never even, I would never correlate the two together. Like.
See, like for me, and I've dealt with, again, not single guy, but I've seen girls that, like, if I was interested in her, I hate her best friend so fucking much that I would never even give her the chance because I cannot stand that that's the girl in your ear as soon as things go wrong.
It's a little intense.
But yeah, here's the thing. But here's the other thing too. Like who are you going to be with more? Who are you going to be with? You're going to be with your girlfriend, not the best friend.
Well, here, maybe there's another character flaw for me. I do enjoy group settings. I love friends of friends, and I maybe obsess over that a little bit too much. So let's flip the question, and let me say the reverse. Dating a girl that you love her family, you love her friends, you don't want that to blind that, like, when you're actually alone with her, you're kind of like, oh, this is cool, but like, hey, where's your dad?
Where's your dad? Yo, your brother.
Hey, yo, big dog. Brother, come on over. What?
You want to play Xbox?
But I think it matters because it all comes in. Like I'm gonna again flip the question to saying, dating do's or don'ts. Do you date a girl that your family and friends don't approve of?
I mean, our family is different. That's no fly list is no fly list. Like if you're out on the family, you're out on the family. Yeah. You're gonna have a really tough time, and I think ultimately, whatever your family is feeling about her, if it's negative energy that your family has, it's probably going to be something that you ultimately realize, and you're going to eventually get yourself out of the situation, so it won't matter. Right. But yeah, I mean, Alyssa's loved by our family, so I don't have to deal with that.
No, Alyssa left day one, and everyone was like, "That's a girl you should not fuck around with."
Yeah,
don't mess that one up, Eddie.
Yeah, don't fuck this.
It's funny, Dario and Diana broke up literally, I think, for like a month 8 years ago, and we're all like, "Hey, listen, Diana, yeah, we love you, but."
This is Dario we're talking about.
We're on Dario's side. Well, whatever you got to do to fix it, fix it.
I'd be tight. I'd be sick.
My uncle came up to me and said, "What are we gonna do?" I said, "About what?" I said, "Dario. How do we keep him here?" I was like, "Well," he's like, "Can we hang out with him if Diana's not?" I was like, "I mean, yeah, I think we can." Yeah.
How do we get him?
That's
back?
how great
sick.
Dario is
so
in the
sick.
family. But yeah, let me ask you the same question. And your family's very different because of the culture.
Yeah. So being black and both of my parents from Haiti, they're not crazy about white girls in general. That's a joke. My parents love Nicole. That's a joke. I saw your guys' face. I'm sorry.
I was like, here we go. I was like, wait, I didn't even think Corey was going to be like that.
When he said being black, I was like,
I've never heard Corey say that
I
once.
was like, all right, man, we get it, dude. We got eyes, bro.
I was like, what? How much?
Yeah.
No.
Damn.
No. Too intense. I'm sorry.
No, that was good. Keep going, please.
All right. So my parents absolutely love Nicole. Whole family loves Nicole. Nicole's family is a group of the best people I've ever met in my life. So it's kind of hard to imagine what things would go like if either of those sides didn't mesh. But I would say, if your family doesn't like your girl, it's almost like, for what reason? Is it because you've been dating for like 5 years and you've overshared and they've been through the ups and the downs and they've built an opinion?
That happens, yeah.
Off of that, that happens. I think you can work through that. Is it because your family doesn't like your girl because she just flat out sucks and she puts you in the worst place possible, and she's been the reason of why they've seen you at their low, because your family is the closest people to you? So I think it really is situational. No matter what, it doesn't make anything easier, though. We can all agree on that. Like, it makes stuff very tough.
That's what I'm saying too. I think ultimately, whatever your family sees, you might have, you might not see it right away, and it might take you some time. I think whatever they're feeling towards her, they might pick it up right away, because they're seeing a snapshot of her, and they're going to see whatever she's going to bring that day. And if they don't like her from the bat, they're going to form that opinion. And it might be an opinion that you ultimately form yourself, but it might not happen right away. So like those things, I felt like if your parents, your family doesn't like the girl, you're ultimately something's gonna happen where you're like, okay, I think mom and dad they know me better. They know me better than a girl that I've been dating for a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, a year, something like that. I think it's all gonna eventually come to a head, and you're gonna see it. So.
Hey man, that sounds like it causes friction. And that's what it comes, right?
Like
as
why
soon
are
as
they
you start sitting at Christmas dinner tables convincing and saying, guys, but this side, come on. It's too much.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing. Like you're gonna figure it out when ultimately, like, you're sitting at a dinner table and like, she stands up and if people start talking about her, like,
that's so Italian.
Well, wait, how about this?
So
I think that side of things 1000%. If I brought a girl to I brought a girl to a holiday ever. literally since high school. And I brought, and somebody said, and they all were like, hey, look, this is not the girl for you for whatever reason. I could be convinced. What I can't be convinced of, I don't think so, is the opposite. If everybody's like, this girl's for you, she'd be perfect. I don't think I'm ever now be like, oh, well, like we dealt with that with we won't mention names.
Don't even know what you're talking about.
You know, I have a question.
No, not with you, with somebody else. No. I don't, yeah.
Oh, okay.
His
okay.
dumbass.
John,
I don't
That was
like
close.
we couldn't convince him because he just wasn't feeling it. We saw outside perspective that was a good girl, but for
Right.
him it just wasn't there.
Right.
so when that situation happens though, and someone's just like anything, whether it's a girl, an idea, a job, I mean, life, someone's trying to shove something down your throat. Don't you want it less?
You do, but it's also when it's coming from like my mom or my dad. My mom is very, intuitive, and I know she means the best, and she's very honest. I walk down with a bad outfit on, she's telling me to come back upstairs. You know what I mean? So like, if she
Yeah, it
tells me,
doesn't
hey, this
fly in
girl's
the
for
Rondi
you,
days.
or this girl's not for you, stay away. I'm swallowing my pride a little bit. Because you're right. Like the ego tells you go the opposite of whatever anybody else says. But you got to blunt that. You got to listen to what your parents and your family is saying. Because they have no ill intentions when it comes to that stuff. They want to. Is somebody here?
Yeah, it sounds like
If I had
we
to
should
take a
talk
wild
about
guess.
ego and relationships.
Who do you think?
I have no clue.
I'll look in a minute. I got one though.
Is it Vin?
I would assume.
I got one. What's the level of disclosure with friends and family like? Because I think that there's a certain point that if every little thing you're just airing it out to friends and family, like
Yeah, it's a good
you're
one.
kind of bringing negativity onto you.
He's insane.
And what's the safe spot? What are you
Yeah.
sharing? What are you holding back?
That's a good one.
And what are the detriments of that, Corey? I see you chomping at the bit here.
I saw mine, but go.
Corey's in the middle seat, so
Yeah, whatever.
Hold up, reiterate it, John. You don't got a camera on you. I'm sorry.
All right, so if I could reiterate that in not so many terms, I guess how much, and this is a really good dating do's or don't, how much do you share to your family or friends what's going on in your relationship?
Hold on. Just say it way simpler. Do you tell your family everything?
Dating do's or don'ts. Do you tell your family and friends everything about what's going on in your relationship?
Absolutely not. You just can't. You really can't, especially as the relationship matures and you go through much heavier ups and downs. And then love, honestly, straight up, love becomes a bigger factor than other people's opinions. And
Right.
you mentioned love blinded earlier, like blinded by love. It's really important. I think another thing is you share those opinions with your friends and family. Your friends are going to look at your significant other differently. Like, oh, because this person took my closest friend through these ups and downs and brought the worst out of them. Your parents who value you and treat you so well and you are their baby, like you are a spawn of their creation, they are going to look at that person very differently. So I think as relationships mature and we get older, again, this is why therapy is a big deal, because you have an unbiased opinion. As these things elevate and escalate, you actually, your circle shrinks of who you can share it with. If you want that long-lasting
Unbiased.
relationship, exactly. You want that non-biased, long-lasting relationship. We've been dating for 15 years. I don't really care what other people think.
And your friends and family get tired of it. Like if I
Yeah.
kept coming to the same boy who cried wolf, and
Yeah.
Corey and I joke
I
about we
was-
have
I
the
was gonna say.
same 3 conversations over and over and over again, and we love them every time. But there was a point where we both go like, dude, again, you're gonna say the same shit to me again and expect a different reaction. It's the same shit over and over again. Or that meme where it's like when your boy is so delicious, it just leaves 5-minute voice notes, and you're like,
We never get tired of it, though.
no, we don't. We really don't. We act like it's brand new every
Wait,
single time.
you're saying this is a conversation that you guys have
Oh, we
had before?
talk
we
the
talk
same
about
3
this.
topics.
We're on rotation. The same
Is
conversation.
this one of them?
Relationships and
Yeah.
life and those specific
This,
girls.
because
that we
this is a
keep
good
bringing
one.
up.
I think. Listen, I think I'm guilty of it. I think I've done it before, and it's just like there's things that have come up, and I'm like, you know what?
Wish I didn't share that.
Yeah, it's because I know at the end of the day, it's like we're gonna get over it, and it's gonna be fine. And next thing you
Right.
know, you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have said that, because now it's like it's out there, and then I can't take it back, whatever. But I think our families, I mean, probably families in general, but our family is like soon as like a little bit of gossip, you're like, everybody runs and tells.
It's fun.
Right, because now like everybody runs and tells everybody like the next thing, and you're like, what did you hear about this? And you hear about that?
I know.
And our family is like super like when it comes to that, like super old school Italian, like they're constantly on the fucking phone with each other.
I tell Eddie something that everybody doesn't know. Like we will share information and it takes 30 seconds.
Yeah, hey John, I stubbed my toe. Aunt Jen's gonna call me. Hey, I heard you stub your toe.
Grandma knows about the stub toe.
Mama call. Oh,
you guys are so interweaved. It blows my mind.
Mama call like, oh, I heard you stubbed your toe the other day. You okay?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It just gets worse and worse when
it's
a game of telephone.
Oh my God, you broke your foot the other day.
Eddie's handicapped now. Broke his leg.
So that's one of those things. And I think you said it pretty well. Like as it matures, it becomes less and less because the significance of the like if it's a argument, you probably won't turn into a bigger argument as much as it did when it first started. So those little things stay little things. The big things, big things, but the little things don't turn into big things, and you don't have to keep telling people, oh, this is what happened, this is yada 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 yada, and then that kind of just fades away, and it's just like you kind of progress upwards instead of.
This guy spits, honestly. And the big things, like when you are 35 and you find out what she was like in high school.
Right. Yeah, that's.
But here,
like I said,
we have to be really cautious about is that people that love you are actually going to be more emotionally attached to what you told them than you are. Like a girl, if I would tell my mom, this girl called me an asshole, or like whatever, I'm over that in 5 seconds. My mom is still pressed about that girl calling me an asshole. She doesn't get to see the 9% that she was really good to me or said all these nice things. I don't say that to my mom.
Right.
And this is all hypothetical. This is not a girl. And our family is the same way. And your dad is actually the one that brought that up to me. He's like, your relationship is your relationship. Don't overshare to your family, and don't share anything to them that you don't want them, you don't want it to become a representation of who that person is.
Right.
That's a hard rep to then build back for that girl because she's fighting an unfair battle. She doesn't know she's fighting that battle. Right. She walks into Christmas dinner and she thinks everything's fine. Everybody's like, that's that bitch that said John's an asshole.
This is literally a hypothetical on John's life. Alyssa. Yeah. This has nothing to do with us.
Nothing, Alyssa. We've never overshared. Yeah. But you pick and choose who you overshare with. Like again, like we're really close. We can overshare because we know where it's coming from. We're not going to be biased. It's not going to be, well, remember when Nicole said that to you and it should be over now. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like that at all.
Yeah, there's a form of bullshitting and that's just talking shit.
Right.
Whatever.
That guys just do. But again, one thing that I always commend about my dad and respect is that I would caddy for him and other guys, and I would always hear the nonsense come out of dudes' mouths about how they hate their wives and their family and their kids and they just want to get away. And I'm like, that sounds miserable. And I hear my dad, and there's other guys too that love their wives. And if they don't love their wives or they're not feeling it that day, they're not talking about it. Dudes air their shit out so much. And then I see them sitting at dinner with their wives and family. I'm like, I feel bad for them. They're sitting there and I'm like, your dude just trashed you to other guys to sound cool. That's not cool.
I was going to say, that's one of the things too. I feel like guys do, we're breaking balls. We're talking about,
No, not cool.
Like it's not. Like, again, because if you're doing it in front of your friends, now at the end of the round, all these guys are sitting in the same clubhouse having dinner with their wives who were at the pool that day. Now they all come in, they're having dinner, and you're like, oh well, this guy was just talking shit about his wife. I'm like, well, who wants to live like that?
Nobody.
Like that. It doesn't make sense. Like, why would you ever want to put yourself in that situation or put your wife in that situation where she is now getting looked at by four other guys or three other guys that were just in the foursome with you playing golf, and you're like, this guy fucking
hates cheating on or whatever. What are you about? You about to share something? Because I want to share something that I think. Go ahead.
Oh no, you share first.
I think, and this is not related to you guys at all. But guys should be careful starting a relationship how much you share about how good your girl is to other guys. Because if it's your best friend, that's one thing. If it's your cousin, that's one thing. If it's your friend, like, oh, how was so-and-so? And you're like, dude, she was great. Like, she did this and that. Like, she's awesome.
Oh, that's madness.
That dude's looking at her every time now differently.
I wasn't sure where you're going.
Well, see, I was like,
that's madness.
and not so many words. I know Corey's saying the same thing. And not so many words. Don't overshare, guys. Because guys start thinking.
That's so crazy. Yeah. I didn't even know what the fuck you guys
he said good. I said, like, as a person?
Like, listen, and not so many words, good as a person, good in other ways. Those are things that sometimes just keep to yourself. Don't overshare that stuff because dudes go run around and now that girl, girls and guys, because girls are even worse. Girls are piranhas. As soon as if you're a girl out there listening to what I have to say, first of all, thank you. Second of all, if you like a guy, don't be oversharing to your girls and cordial people how great that guy is, because now girls are piranhas and they're attacking your man.
Yo, that was phenomenal. You said corals of people.
Yeah.
And then you said piranhas.
Yeah.
That was sick.
You like that?
Yeah, that was very good.
I mean,
That shit was fire.
corals, saltwater piranhas are.
Oh,
shut
shut
Hey, oh my God, bro.
What's that mean?
Actually,
That was crazy.
So I didn't even phase me when you said it. Actually, didn't even phase me.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting that we can go in reverse in that. But that's more of a single guy thing. We think about that stuff.
Yeah, never cross.
I mean, it's a great point. I think, especially as we get older.
Right. As a youngin', you make that mistake. Like, you want to brag to your friends about what you did and what she did and how good she is. Dudes are thinking.
They're scheming.
Dudes are lurking.
in the bushes.
They're waiting. They're waiting for you to fuck up.
Are we done with the do's and don'ts?
Can I do the? Oh wait, you got some more?
I don't know.
I want to rapid fire some is it cheating questions. Is that okay for everybody in the audience? You guys are cool with that? You know what, Petey? Let's talk about you for a little bit.
Oh,
Petey's
yeah.
behind the camera. Petey's single. Petey, how do you feel about being single in this day and age? Petey's also 28. Petey is a rising content creator star. He is getting ass left and right. He walks around with some swagger. It's
Yo, he's
like
a monster.
You're not
He's
helping
got
this
aura.
man's situation.
This
He's got
dude,
aura right
this
now.
dude's
You
got
see-
aura crazy,
You're
and
not
I don't.
helping this man's situation.
And I am. And
got
so,
motion,
Petey,
my boy.
explain. Yeah, he does. He's got motion. Explain how you're feeling. Are you feeling that pressure that we were kind of mentioning before? We're reaching the age where maybe it's time to lock in. What are your thoughts?
I'm not feeling any pressure just yet. I kind of think like I'm not super traditional. My family, I got a real small family. I don't have any kind of like those big Italian family pressures. So I'm kind of like, fuck the tradition. I'm kind of doing my thing. I like my independence. And the more that I enjoy that, the higher the barrier to entry is for me. It's like a girl has to be pretty special for me to let her in to not like risk that independence, but want to share that. Like I like going golfing on the weekends and not having to check with somebody for plans. I like when you hit me up to do something and I'm like, my schedule's open. Meanwhile, I haven't seen Eddie in like 4 weeks. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm joking.
I'm
beat me
joking.
to it.
Joking. He beat fucking to it. I knew it. I knew he was gonna do it. But that's exactly. I feel like we feel the same way. Life is really good. Why throw something in that potentially does have the chance to make it better, but also make it way worse?
Right.
Love and heartbreak
Way
fucking
worse.
blow.
We're in a good position in that we can be super selective.
Yeah.
And because the downside is we just keep being single and doing our thing.
Right.
So it's a privileged position.
It is.
But what type of feeling would you need to push you in that right direction?
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
Oh,
right?
you know the feeling. You walk in a room, you see the girl, you're like, oh, I'm dropping everybody for this one.
Yeah, but you don't even know her. So like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
might
that's
suck.
lust.
That's lust. Yeah, she
Yeah.
might
So maybe that's a
suck.
feeling you shouldn't listen to.
No.
90% of the
How
time
old
it's
is Joe
not.
again? This guy's wise.
Joe is wise.
Oh, beyond
Joe
his
is
years.
wise, bro.
Beyond
Joe
his
just wait till he untaps into his potential or taps into his potential because he's got it.
Wise.
Yeah, he's wise.
Beyond his years.
That's a good, but it's a tough thing because again, as men, we're primal. We have big egos. We think from a competitive standpoint. We got to get the girl that maybe is harder to get, and it's going to be a challenge. And are you just going for her because she's a challenge? Or are you going for her because she aligns with your life and you know she'd make a great life partner? That's the challenge that I am always dealing with, and we talk about that a lot.
Yeah, John's the dog chasing the mailman.
And then I get the mail. And I'm like, huh?
Then he
now
catches
what?
the mailman and he's like, now what?
That's tough.
Like, oh my god, there's another one.
And he's gonna be back tomorrow. So
It's tough though. It's a hard life to live. I'm gonna transition a little bit. Same question: dating do's and don'ts. Do you date a girl that has dated one of your boys?
Absolutely not. Not in a million years. And it's not an ego thing. It's well, one, how close is your boy, right? Like, do you see your boy once a month? Do you see your boy multiple times a year? You gotta look at that motherfucker and say, who wants that? Yo.
He's all right. Well, I'll give you two scenarios. First one is me. So obviously,
You.
yeah,
Absolutely. No.
right. So you're not fair. Next one, let's give like hypothetical again. Somebody in the building, you catch up at the pool once in a while. You see them at the bar. You're kind of bar friends. They break up, and it's like 6 months post breakup.
Nah, you can't. You see that guy at the pool, you're like, look at his fucking small legs. Like, fuck that guy. Like, you hate everything about that person. It's just not worth it.
Everyone's got small legs compared to you.
Yeah.
Should I show a camera?
You're big, bro. That's a tough one though, man, because you don't want to let like if they really weren't aligned, they weren't destined to be. And I'm big into that. But you and her were destined to be, and they just for whatever reason were kind of doing their thing. Took a little time for you guys to meet, and now you guys met. You're like this random dude that you met in the last year get in the way.
I love this because this is a single guy's perspective. It sounds easy, right? Then you're chilling with this dude at a birthday party, and he's shaking your hand, and he hugs her for maybe 3 seconds, maybe a little longer than he should.
Yeah. and he whispers. He whispers and says,
"Slide, bro." I said, "All right, that hug was a little long."
Yeah,
you live a much.
Slide that hand one more time.
He says in her ear, "I miss us," and then walks away.
John, exactly. So that's the thing. I mean, because you make a great point. I cannot deny with your point. I can't deny your point at all. It's more about. And alcohol and all these things, it makes you a little more erratic than you usually are. Like sober is probably easy to say, I don't give a fuck about that dude, who cares? And then like you guys are at the bar, you're at the same events, and like even if they're in the same corner just talking, you're like, yeah.
Because you know how easy
and
it
they
is.
could just be friends, yeah.
Nah, but you know how easy it is. It's way easier for him to
he
get
did
her
it.
back. Yeah. That he's grandfathered in.
Eddie, what are your thoughts?
There are girls. I mean, again, single guy talking, and it's not about me. This is not about me. But there are men that walk around life that, let's say, you with a girl, broke up with her, you see her with another man. In that guy's mind, he knows instantly could have her back, and that guy's just playing a waiting game.
Yeah, lurking.
You got their relationship right here.
Yeah, that's crazy. Eddie, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, no, I've never. The question is, we're still talking about
dating a girl that dated.
Your boys got with.
That was a whirlwind.
Yeah.
No, yeah, never. Never.
You
No,
know-
it's not even a question, honestly, because, like, there's still somebody that you're an acquaintance with, and it's somebody that she knew, and you're like, well, now we all know each other, and I'm like, okay, it just gets weird, and it just gets messy. It's like, just there's so many fish in the
Things
sea.
that can go wrong.
Yeah, there's so many fish in the sea. There's so many girls. Like, why do you have to be around the same one? And
I'm glad you said that, Eddie, because my thing is like, I don't want the audience to think it's an ego thing. I think we made valid points too. It's not an ego thing. It's more of a.
We're three men that actually have not silenced our egos, but we've done a really good job telling them to shut the fuck up once in a while.
100%. It's your biggest enemy, and this is an ego thing. It's not even a peace of mind thing. It's like,
so talking about again dating men or dating girls that have no hey, listen, you want to date men. When you're a guy and you're trying to befriend a girl, but there's always that little hope or thought, I could probably sleep with this girl. You're gonna move differently with her. You're not gonna be open. You're not gonna be your true self. You're always gonna have that little bit of like, I have to impress her. Whereas it's nice to have girls that's completely off the table with, and then vice versa. Those girls are broken down with you. They feel more comfortable. They can share stuff about them. They can ask you genuine questions about your relationship life and things like that. It's a refreshing perspective.
yo,
yeah. Let's answer that question.
Eddie said, duh.
I didn't get to my point. Give me a second. The whole thing about dating your, whatever, girls that have been with your guys. My friends do it. And it's the fucking weirdest thing. I don't know why they've all done it.
I have a counter question about
Please.
that. Why do you think girls don't care about it though?
They love it.
Girls will date. I mean, you said your friends do it. That means one of those girls has to date one of their boys, then date another boy within the group.
I think it's a comfort thing.
Girls don't care about it. It's very interesting. And that's why I addressed, I'm like, I don't want it to be a male ego thing. I just think it's kind of weird. I think you can live a life with more peace knowing that your boy didn't beat. So, but why are girls so okay with it?
I think they're, you're talking about like if a girl dating a guy that her friend has been with?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the opposite.
Well, that's the opposite. I mixed it up. But that's what I mean. The girls are still cool with the opposite.
My brain isn't.
Because honestly, not making sense. I ruined that.
No, you didn't. No.
Girls are more down to date a guy that's friends with a guy they hooked up with.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Petey. Yes.
And I think the
That's
reason
what I
is
meant.
it's
The
comfort
egos are
level.
different.
Yeah,
Well,
the egos are
but
different. It's a comfort level too. They don't
Is
care
it
as
a
much.
male ego thing?
It is, bro. It's an ego.
What a shame.
Hypothetically, if my good friend dated a girl years ago, and obviously they slept with each other, and 5 years down the road, I end up dating this girl and sleeping with her.
Oh, my chest hurts just
His
hearing it.
his first thought is, "Wow, he's hitting the same girl I used to hit." That's an ego thing. Yeah, it is disgusting. It hurts me too, even saying that. But from a girl, I don't think they have that feeling. I don't think they think it like. I don't think they think about it like that.
Yeah, girls are just so much smarter and more reasonable than us, honestly.
They are, and they're
really
more.
are.
Like, I think they get comfortable with the guy. Like again, if I was a girl dating a guy and I really really liked his friend, now they've built comfortability with that guy, and then when they break up, that's the sad part of life. Is sometimes it happens.
Where's the do and don't here?
The do and don't is do not do it. As a man, do not date girls that your boys have dated.
I think we all just agreed on. We just had 3 don'ts.
Caveats. Caveats would be like
Yeah.
one night stands,
Oh yeah.
partially dating the girl, blase, not really, but long term relationships, yeah, definitely not touching that.
Is it, if you're doing caveats, is it a caveat if you say if a multiple year, they've been broken up, your boy and his girl have been broken up, multiple years later, you meet up with the girl, yada yada yada, and you go back to your boy and say, hey, I know you haven't dated her since high school, but we ran into each other, we were talking, yada yada yada. Like, is that one of those caveats?
Let me ask a question for the clip, because that's a good one.
Wait, not this again. This is totally hypothetical because
We don't do this.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, we don't. But let me ask for the camera. So again, we already agreed that we're not dating our friends.
Yeah, because what ultimately happens? Because if it,
How about
if
this?
you go back to this kid and be like, hey, I ran into her, we might go grab a drink. Are you cool with that?
If
I have thoughts.
if you want to pursue a girl that your boy has dated, do you have to ask him for permission first?
100%.
Do you think so?
Go ahead, debate now. Go.
No, because we're talking. You said they dated 5 or 6 years ago. I guess.
I think that's the thing.
It didn't feel like asking for permission when you say, "Oh, like, do you mind if I go grab a drink?"
No,
oh,
it
shit, I
wasn't-
guess that is asking for permission.
It wasn't. I don't know.
Because we hate that.
I don't know
I'm
if
not
it's
saying that.
I don't know if it's so
We're
much
asking for
permission. I don't know if
Please?
it's not so much not permission.
Well, I'm gonna do it anyway.
I already did it.
Beat that shit up. You were right, bro. That's what you used to say to me. Wow, you were right about her.
This is what it goes back to oversharing.
Full circle, exactly. Yeah.
But it's not so much asking permission. It's more of just a respect thing. Like,
Telling
hey,
him.
I agree with that. Telling.
And more,
Straight up, like-
more of telling. Like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm telling you out of respect.
What
But
if he's like not cool with it?
Well,
Yeah,
then it's
you'll do
like,
it. I had.
Yeah, I
if you
guess,
want to
yeah.
keep that relationship with that friendship,
I was gonna say
with
that was
friend,
gonna be a caveat of my caveat. Is like, it depends on the relationship that you had with that said guy. Is it your boy, or is it just a drinking buddy?
That's a tough one. Yeah, no, but that's a big deal.
Who is it to you? I guess is the real caveat of the caveat.
You're not touching it, right?
Yeah, Joe, what do you think?
Yeah.
Joe's been so quiet because he
been
goes.
so-
Swing that mic over to his
Yo,
face.
did you see the way he was fucking nodding?
Swing that mic over to his face. What the fuck do you mean you've done
I
it?
thought he
I
was
don't
gonna-
recommend. Don't do it.
You dated your boy's ex?
So, no, they were fucking. They were fucking. And I said, "Oh,
You're
I
done.
like the things you were doing to him. Do it to me, and let me date you." And then we dated for 2 years, and she ruined my life. So don't do it.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
that math sounds right.
Yeah,
And
no,
then
you
you
deserve
end up like, "Hey, you ain't did for him what you're not doing for me what you did for him."
He was telling me stories about the crazy shit. You told me, where's the crazy shit right now? I didn't get any of that.
Yo, that might be one of the funniest things I've
Yo,
ever heard.
that-
The way he
Joe.
went back and said-
Joe, that's incredible.
Joe,
man.
I thought he was falling asleep, and
No,
he
Joe
goes,
was-
"No, because I've
Joe
already
was
heard this story before."
Filled with it, bro.
Oh my god.
Wow. Well, I think that's a great way to end this podcast. I've had a blast. I could keep going. We're going to save for an episode, maybe later on with some girls on, right? So fair to say. Thank you, boys, for coming on. Based on how this does,
Thank you.
you may get a second invite back. You will get a second invite. I don't care how well this does. I want to have you guys back on.
No, this was a blast.
We're gonna-
I
but
hope
maybe
it
get
does
the
well,
girlfriends
so we
on,
can
get
do it
some
again.
girls, some drinks in us. We'll have a good time.
This was deep.
All right.
Listen, I live here, so.
Yeah, you're in. That's it for today, everybody. Cheers.